What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Suppe. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Grassengroom. We're on the map Frozen Wastes. I love this map in a lot of different matchups. I think this is one of the best maps for certain matchups. It's really, really bad, right? From an entertainment point of view. For other matchups, it's really, really fun. So it all boils down to the fact that, well, not the fact, but it all boils down to if a civilization has got mobility, it's going to be really, really fun on this map. If both civilizations have mobility, it's going to be even more exponentially fun. So we have an Oranos versus Loki matchup here. Oranos has got the speedy upgrade with plus 10% for all human units, and then Loki gets that speedy upgrade with Hall of Thanes, plus the already speedy Herser that he naturally receives. So we'll see how things are going to go on this one. I like this matchup from the Loki side here. I think Loki has got the slightest of advantages in this matchup if the Loki plays it correctly. Ooh, stealing a cheeky goat here. You sneaky boy, Suppe. Give that goat back. There were some serious punishments for stealing goats back in the day, and you have gotten away with it this one time, and you're a very, very naughty boy. That's all I'm going to say right there. Grassengroom here, he's playing Oranos. So let's go through the game plan in this matchup here for Oranos. So game plan, okay, point number one is Oranos wants to hit the secondary hunt as early as they possibly can. So if we take the map out, there's going to be a few locations here the Grassengroom's going to have to keep his eye on. So he's got the elk over here, he's got the elk over here, and he's got the walrus over here. So those are the spots he's going to want to keep Suppe off of in the early games. We'll see if he's going to be able to do that, as Suppe unfortunately splits his gatherers up as poorly as he possibly can here. We'll talk about that a little bit later. After that, after he manages, and if he does manage to push off of hunt, the next thing he needs to do is make sure that he's reading his opponent's army. There's 2 or 3 ways the Loki army can be constructed. So one first way is pure Herser. The next way is Herser raiding cavalry, and the next way is Herser throwing axemen. So if he's going for the first 2, which is Herser or some combination of Herser raiding cavalry, he needs to make sure that he doesn't overcommit on the Terma here in this matchup, as we are actually just getting surprised here by Suppe. He's just throwing up a really, really forward temple here. So everything goes out the window now, and everything I'm saying doesn't matter, because it seems to me that Suppe is going to be doing some sort of stupid, crazy Heimdall rush here, and we've got a very, very interesting game about to come for you, ladies and gentlemen, as that Heimdall is indeed coming up. So this is something that is very, very strong here for Suppe to be going for. He's going for the Heimdall, and he's going to be trying to put some pressure on. It is 2 gold mine Ghost Lake, not Ghost Lake, 2 gold mine Frozen Wastes, however. And Suppe is an absolute madman going for this against an Oranos player. So we'll see what Grassengroom is going to come up with here. He's just doing a stock standard 4:30 advance time. He's actually jumping onto berry bushes right now because he doesn't want to get pushed off of hunt. He's actually over here on this location, which might be a little bit of a mistake here, considering he sees the temple. If he did some score reading, he'll know that Suppe is advancing a little bit faster than him, even though that's kind of natural here in this matchup. But one thing that Grassengroom could do is send his oracles over here to sit on this location, and then immediately valor those to defend his one villager over here in the early stages of the game, following up with his Murmillo or whatever. So he does actually make himself that extra oracle scout here, so he will be able to defend a little bit in this game. But we'll see what's going to happen here as Suppe here. He is not 100% sure where the hunt is, but if he does a cheeky little cheeky, he will know that there is going to be a unit over here. So let's see if the Herser is going to be making its way over here. We do see the immediate kills on these elk. This is a really, really smart thing to do with Loki and with Norse in general. It gets extra favor, so that each one of these huntable things have got 0.48 favor in them. But not only that, if you kill them with a Herser as Loki, it's going to build up that Loki Herser favor pool. So he's going to be able to get an earlier myth unit spawn from the Herso that he's creating here, as he does throw up a longhouse here as well. Not only that, look at this. That's a Fort Temple, but those are houses in his base. Those are houses in his base indeed. As Soup's learned a little bit, but he's actually still building houses at the front here for some reason. It's fine. I am guilty as well, as we all know, that building houses at home as Norse is incredibly difficult, and I can appreciate that. You have to really sacrifice a whole unit in your base to make that happen. As we're going to start seeing some raiding cavalry coming out, the Herso coming through here. We take a look at Grassengroom's base here. We see the counter barracks, the military barracks up, and the units retreating back home, as Suppe is going to be looking for some very, very early aggression here. One thing to be very aware of when you're playing Oranos against this kind of a rush is to not get too bogged down in the fact that you're being rushed. You're still playing Oranos. Your advantage still is going to be speed, and the big weakness here of a build like this, a forward build like this, is your hunt is going to be super what do you call it? It's well, that's a little bit late there on that undermine there. Suppe tries to get a little bit of population blockage happening there, but the point is that you're going to have your hunt is going to be weak, so raiding that is going to be a real smart way to play. As that mana stays alive there with 63 HP, the unit's going to be pushing forward now. Maybe a little bit aggressive here as the army trying to repair this one back up, and that's going to be some first bloods drawn here for Grassengroom. Nice play. We see the Promethean Offspring running into the enemy base here as one does get picked off. Going to be retreating out of here at this point as Grassengroom still not really happy with taking this fight just yet. One thing he should be thinking about doing is trying to separate his Terma from his melee units so that he can get some attacks going while they're retreating away, because Suppe's army is very, very slow here. The other thing is just go for some raids right now. Terma 5.5 speed, raiding cavalry 6.0 speed. Probably going to be worth it to go for some raids here, and you're going to be able to get away from there. As you do see the Terma trying to throw a handful of arrows in there. You can see how little damage it does onto those units. Hitting this hunt is the big thing here. If we take a good look at what Grassengroom can see, if he wants to know where to attack, he can see that. He just has to use his cheeky little cheekiness. Alternatively, like, he knows that there's 2 packs of elk on the map, so he should be able to work out that he can go and raid that. As the raiding cavalry is finally moving over here, Grassengroom has been hunting this location with one citizen for quite some time, as the raiding cavalry do spot that but miss it in some way, shape or form, as Grassengroom still trying to push forward. Suppe, on the other hand, 76 population to 75 population. Is the army getting caught out? This is something that Suppe really loves to do. When his opponent gets caught out, he chases him down really hard, gets a lot of damage done on that retreat path. As one Terma gets taken down, that Kyra Ballista is almost going to get picked off. Nice little micro there, keeping it alive in the back. Very little HP remaining on it though, as the Einhjar comes in. Big shockwave coming there on the back as the Murmillo coming through here to try and get involved. Does Grassengroom have access to a Valor? No, he does not. Retreating back over here, still no access to the watchtowers here, as Grassengroom going to try and defend over on this location, trying his best to hold on here. These Murmillo getting chased down really nicely here by the throwing axeman, as Grassengroom dropping population quite quickly here. 66 population. Suppe, on the other hand, sitting at a steady 75 population here. That Einhjar is doing a lot of damage here, as the Kyra are sitting in on this concave, trying to hold on as best as they possibly can here, as the Einhjar starting to shank away as best as it possibly can. The throwing axeman getting taken down, and Suppe's attack for the time being has been defended. 67 population to Grassengroom's 70 population though, so Grassengroom going to be in a slight advantage going forward here. One would have to assume. Not only that, Grassengroom is now able to afford these Kyra Ballista, but what this means is effectively Grassengroom, he can't really move out of his base, and he shouldn't be moving out of his base with those Kyra Ballista, as we do see that first raid finally coming in onto this position, as the Citizen is going to try and make a break for it. The Herso a little bit faster than the Citizen, 4.62 speed, going to be chasing it down, potentially taking this out. We do see a troll spawn that's going to get a little bit of damage done. If that was a Valkyrie, this Citizen would 100% have died here. One way that Grassengroom could keep this citizen alive is if he brings his Murmillo closer and speed walks that citizen back into his base, but he doesn't do that. Citizen down, nice play there for Suppe moving forward. We see another counter barracks coming up for Grassengroom as he wants to try and build some more of those Ballista out to deal with the infantry units that Suppe is making here. Suppe, on the other hand, he is just continuously pumping out these units. He's got himself throwing axemen, raiding cavalry, and kind of Hursa being built, but not just yet. This gold mine over here, very, very out in the open. So Suppe does have his eye on this one as this gold mine is getting closer and closer to finishing up. There's no defenses on that position at this point, so we'll see how things are going to go here. As now we see Grassengroom deciding it's time to move out here. We see the raiding cavalry on both sides here. We'll see if Grassengroom can defend this as he does move the Promethean off onto this side, going to start targeting down those raiding cavalry as best as he possibly can. The Promethean targeting down that Anya beautifully there. And then, oh, I love this play here from Grassengroom. Gets that Promethean onto the back line of those throwing axemen. You have to micro this really, really well. If your name is Suppe, if you're playing Loki in this game here, make sure those throwing axemen targeting the right units here. Suppe's sitting at 83 population. Grassengroom dropping down to 74 population, and he has to retreat back at this point. Grassengroom has not worked out that his army actually doesn't beat the Norse army at this stage of the game. His advantage is still going to be speed, whereas the Loki army, it's a very, very different Loki army than normal. This Loki army is very immobile. Yes, he does have raiding cavalry, but he only has a few of them. Those throwing axemen are the immobile units. So yes, sniping the units here with those Terma is 100% what he needs to be doing, and moving those Murmillo around to hit some raids is a really, really good idea right now, because you can see right in this front here, Suppe is just grabbing berries right at the front of this map. He needs to be getting pushed off that as fast as possible, as we're going to start seeing farms getting dropped down by Grassengroom. This is making him very, very slow in this game, whereas Suppe, he is just continuously pumping villages. He hasn't been touched yet economically, and he's just going to be able to continue to drop down more and more military buildings. This is something that is incredibly, incredibly important playing Norse, which I do think that a lot of Loki players forget, is that effectively, as your economy goes up, your ability to produce goes up, but so too does your opponent's economy go up, and the same thing happens. Loki players oftentimes just stick one temple, one longhouse, and just build 2 lots of Hursa the entire game. But if you can build more longhouses, then you can obviously reproduce your army once it hits full population and starts going down. As we do see the raiding cavalry swinging back here ever so slightly. We see the units just hanging out on this position as Grassengroom getting pushed back yet again. We do see those Murmillo pushing in to try and take out those raiding cavalry here as best as he possibly can, as the raiding cavalry over here do get shanked away by Grassengroom's Murmillo. Nice play there by Grassengroom as he is defending this one nicely thus far. So we'll see how things are going to go here. Grassengroom sitting at full population. He will need to start thinking about getting those medium upgrades here. He's not actually getting them out just yet. Pulling back into his main base here. We do see the Valkyrie trying her darndest to get in here onto those Ballista. One thing that you should be thinking about doing with this army here is Control B. Or Alt B. Alt B. That's called box formation, and that'll sit your Ballista in the middle of your army and prevent anything from being able to get in here. As Suppe is going absolutely insane here. He's deciding to attack right into this mesh of units here. Not able to get onto those Ballista. They do so much damage to the infantry units here. As Grassengroom's finally able to have won a fight in this game. The Einiyar over here getting taken down. Suppe at 70 population. Grassengroom with a significant population advantage now. He's going to be able to move out. He's going to be able to get some real good damage done onto Suppe. Suppe had a big advantage there, but he just threw it by trying to throw everything in onto that position. Not able to make that work just yet. Grassengroom full population. Suppe now 79 population. We'll see what Grassengroom's plan is here, as 2 citizen are going to be moving forward here. What I would like to see from Grassengroom actually is to grab this town center while this is all going on, but for some reason, the citizen coming into the army here for Grassengroom, maybe, just maybe, as a counter for those Einiyar. If you are unaware, the citizen has roughly the same amount of HP, or hero citizen has roughly the same amount of HP as a war elephant. Not only that, it gets the standard plus 150% bonus damage versus myth units. So it's actually doing a fair amount of damage to those myth units, up to like 25-ish damage onto those myth units there. But you do have to micro them. They're sitting idle here in this fight. So we'll see how things are going to go. as Grassengroom is trying to make this fight work. 90 population for Suppe. Grassengroom sitting at 115 population as his citizen trying to get involved here in this fight, doing a little bit of damage around here as best as he can. This hero Terma retreating away here, trying to get away from that raiding cavalry. But look, Suppe's too good here. He manages to win those open fights, and Grassengroom still hasn't worked out that his army composition functions the best in closed areas here, and he's trying to fight in the open area against an army which is much better in the open. Just leave the Caraballister at home and raid. That's all he has to do. We are seeing a little bit of raids happening now as the Mamilla coming in onto this position. The citizens are going to be, or villagers I should say, are going to be shanking away over here. As now, Suppe is able to push into the main base. Yet again, those hero citizens still in here trying to help out as best as they can. 96 pop to 83 population over here. We do see that Mermillo does get taken down over there as the citizen over here trying to shank away. How many resources does Grassengroom have? He's got 6 population in the bank, so not really a lot, but he does have enough to make a handful of heroes here, like 2 or 3 heroes here. As the Einhjar over here does get taken down. Citizen on this position here going to be retreating away. We do see the citizen getting taken down over here as the Einhjar are going to be pushing in onto this position. 700 gold remaining over here as it looks like Grassengroom is actually getting pushed off of that for the time being. His population very low. He's got a lot of wood income right now. 10 villagers on wood as these villagers are all trying to make their way onto this wood line over here. But the Einhjar are just chasing them down with the help of those handful of military units. Grassengroom needs to get over here. He needs to get his villagers back onto these farms here as fast as he possibly can. There is a straggler tree here if he wants to chop that one down. Meanwhile, idle citizen over here as well as the very weakness of Oranos is being exploited here, where just simply throwing all those units onto the citizen, causing them to be idle, is setting Suppe's economy really far in front here in this game, as Suppe is going to continue to put pressure on, and these myth units that Suppe has managed to create here in this game have really been able to turn the tide of this game, as there's just not enough favor here for Grassengroom to make his heroes to deal with those Einhjar, as he's spending all his favor on Prometheans. Now, while Prometheans are decently good against myth units, 200% bonus against those myth units there, he does need to make heroes as well, as he is making some hero Terma, which might not be the best of units to use against the 60% pierce armor Einhjar, but then again, the Mamilla are just a little bit worse, I guess, against the Einhjar. So we'll see if Grassengroom can deal with this. Now, one thing that you might be able to do here is not necessarily force a fight, but try and send those hero Terma in to get a couple of shots onto those Einhjar while they're sitting back, and retreat and shoot and retreat and shoot and try and just get that damage done over time, other than other sort of things there, as we do see the raiding cavalry here looking for some raids, some more farms coming down onto this position over here, as Grassengroom needs a little bit more food income. I'm sure Suppe is going to be looking to attempt to hit the next age fairly soon. He doesn't have an armory just yet, happily sitting in that classical age. Maybe Njord here wouldn't be a bad idea, getting access to walking woods to take down this town center, plus a mountain giant to kind of push in and finish this game off. Flaming weapons also wouldn't be a bad idea as well here. Kind of either or is choose your poison, but here's the big problem. Grassengroom is out of gold. So too is Suppe out of gold, but Suppe's mining 2 separate gold mines over here. He actually sees this hunt over here, so he might be moving over to that at some point. But Suppe's out of gold, Grassengroom's out of gold, but there's no one really targeting the gold just yet, as the citizen making their way up onto this position. 2 medium raiders here to say, get out of here, as another shockwave getting cast in onto this position, as Suppe is sitting very nicely in this game. The citizen's getting pulled off of the farms here, trying to fight away, as the hero citizen getting taken very low HP now. A Valkyrie spawn here is going to be a big help. This citizen getting very low HP, 1 citizen down, 2 citizen about to be down. Meanwhile, the raiding cavalry over here are getting a lot of damage done. There is this 1 hero citizen here that can take out that Einhjar there if he utilizes it here and in this game, as we will be seeing Suppe continuing to put this pressure on the citizen, trying to move around, doing the best they can to help out in this fight. But Grassengroom's sitting at 75 pop, Suppe's at 98, 100 population, and in that moment, Grassengroom does decide to tap out here. Ladies and gentlemen, Suppe, he is a magician. He makes Heimdall work against literally everyone here. I think Grassengroom was maybe a little bit overwhelmed by the Heimdall here. Like, he sees Heimdall and he's like, oh, it's scary. I can't really leave my base. But what he can do is just send little raids off, little raids of 2-3 units with just like Mermillo on loop here, because there's no real counter to the Murmillo raids with that army that Soup's been making. You think about it, he's making Throw an Axeman to deal with your Murmillo, whereas normally the Loki player's got Hersir or Hall of Fame's Hersir to deal with your Murmillo raids, but he doesn't have Hall of Fame's Hersir anymore. He's just got the normal Hersir. So your Murmillo's actually really good at raiding, but he didn't actually go for any of that, and instead he was trying to target the Soup army head on with Iron Heart being made, Hersir, tanky Hersir, Throw an Axeman being very difficult to get onto the back of them. Like, Soup's positioning was really good, obviously, so it made it very difficult to kind of win those fights. But had Grassengroom tried to get some more raids going in this game and taking the game more into his style, or an Oranos style, which is more multi-pronged attacks and kind of withering down your opponent, than trying to just make some really, really inefficient trades here. If you take a look at the kill-loss, it's fairly equal, but economically, it is not equal. Well, I mean, it's equal, but it's not equal because Soup has got myth unit spawns on his side. So things of that nature there, something to think about. But nice play here from Soup, makes the Heimdall rush work. I always love watching Soup's Loki. He's always coming up with something crazy. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.